Assalamu alaikum. I'll talk about superposition theorem, which applies only to linear systems. Okay. So the objective is to actually verify superposition theorem experimentally. طبعا بالنسبة لنا احنا experimental will be the simulation. So what do we have to do to prove superposition theorem? I have to have more than one source, like two voltage sources or more, or a combination of voltage sources and current sources. It has to be two or more. Okay. So the superposition apply to linear systems. Okay. So what we have here, for example, if I have three voltages, so VL will be equal, for example, V coming from source 1 plus V that is coming from source 2 plus V that is coming from source 3. Okay. Now let me give you a very trivial example. Okay. Just to bring the idea clear to your mind. Suppose I have a guy here. Okay. And we have two persons on this side. I always like to give this example. Okay. This is kicking him, and the other one is punching him on this part. Okay. The effect that is coming from both of them is this damage and this damage. Now, what will happen if only this guy hit him here? Okay. So we'll have this effect now, and then this guy is actually hitting him here, but at a different time. Yeah, let's say they are almost equal. The total effect is almost equal. So this is the idea of superposition in electric circuit. So this is the experiment. I have a circuit. So note that this circuit is different from the other circuit that we had before in other terms. So you have to solve it by yourself. Okay. Pay attention that the resistor values are all in kilo. So what I'd like to have is to find this VL and this IL. Okay. So we can prove superposition either for current or for voltage. So what we will do here, I have to measure the voltage, the full voltage. It doesn't have to be VL, by the way. It can be any other voltage. For example, this voltage, or this voltage, or this voltage. Okay. But usually they find it on the load, because this is what is concerning me, and I want to know what is the value for this voltage. For example, in order to know the voltage and not to exceed the power rating of that resistor. All right. So what I'm going to do is first to measure this voltage. Now here he is asking also at the same time the current, so I have to find the current at the same time. Okay. So what I need to do is to find this voltage and this current, and this is we have done before. Now, what do you do in the theory to find VL prime or VL1 that is coming from this source or due to this source, and VL double prime that is due to the other source? To do that, theoretically, what you have to do is to activate all sources, but you keep one. We know if we want to activate the voltage source, we replace it by a short circuit. And if we want to replace, to deactivate the current source, I replace it by an open circuit. Okay. Some of you, what will they do? They will come here and they will put this one 0. This is ideally not correct. Okay, so in the experiment, if you do it this way, you will get the wrong result. So you have to do it. You have to remove actually. You have to remove the source and you replace it with a line. Okay. So in the theory, what do? You actually try to find or solve for this VL, right? But in the experiment, it will do this. You have to do the same steps. So you have to deactivate the source, and then you need to find the VL prime and IL prime. But here you have to do them using what? The voltmeter and the ammeter. So it's up to you. You can put one circuit for the voltmeter, one circuit for the ammeter. But if I were you, I put them at the same time. Then what you need to do is to bring this source back, and then you deactivate this one, and then you find this voltage here, VL double prime and IL double prime. And then what you need to do, it's enough to prove one of them. But here just he's actually measuring both to show you that is actually applied to both. Actually, IL prime would be VL prime over RL, and IL prime would be VL double prime over RL. So if it is proved for VL, it is automatically proved for IL. So I want you to prove the superposition for the voltage. There is a question. معناتها and you have to add the values and compare them to here. Don't say that this is equal to the summation. Write the equation and write the values and see, is the summation equal to this value? If yes, then superposition is proved. It's a short experiment. I want you to do it, and then please submit before the deadline.